So it's only a few months ago that I warned you guys about the dangerous liaison, the dangerous alliance between the Socialist Marxists of 1790-83 and the NDC party. And I did say that the Socialist Marxists have found a home in the NDC party, and in some respects has hijacked the NDC party. And now we see that everything that I have said months ago is materializing. Everything I have said has come to light. I did also say that because of the arrogance, and that is the Socialist Marxists from 1790 to 83, because of the arrogance and steroids, that they would not want to play second fiddle to the young upstarts in the NDC party. And for a period of time, they will play or pretend to be the go along, get along gang. But when the moment presents itself, they themselves would want to outshine the master. And the master seems to think that by showing his appreciation for Maurice Bishop's contribution, that he is endearing himself to these Socialist Marxists. But as I have said, and I understand, you know, in some respects I sympathize, because he doesn't understand the rift that existed in the 79-83 period. And for some reason, he believes that these guys, were actually lovers of Morris. And I don't know if it's some sort of twisted romanticizing of the 79-83 period that he feels by associating himself with that period. You know, if there's some sort of longing or wishful thinking that he was part of the process, because of course, you know, they always say we're young and we're youthful, and they try to make it seem like this is the first time in politics in Grenada that the youth has taken charge, when quite to the contrary, as we know, in the 79-83 period, they were honest, hard-working, patriotic people who truly cared about Grenada, who took part in that process. And I'm definitely not talking about the bunch that I'm talking about now that actually has hijacked the NDC. So I think the master is, by associating himself with the period, is trying to relive or hopes that he was part of that process. But anyway, that's besides the point. More important pressing matters is that now you see through the infiltration, they are trying to exercise power. They're doing a test. They're doing a small test to see how far they can go and how much they can achieve with the whole constitution thing and with the whole negation of pledges to the queen or king. And they want to see how far they can go. And depending on how far they go, then they can see how much further they can go after they've achieved that. So we see a very, very dangerous precedence being set. And if they succeed, then they know they've got real power. And then they know what they can achieve. And then they can unleash their grand scheme on the Grenadian people. They've done it before. They've suspended the constitution. And in a very slick way, by not going to the people to try to make the moves that they want to make, it's quite obvious. This is what they want to do again. And they tested it They're testing it on a minuscule level. And if they succeed, as I said, they are going to embark on their grand scheme. Ultimately, these people will never be contented with young upstarts giving them marching orders. They're too arrogant, and they delude themselves into believing that, oh, we were so brilliant. We were such brilliant intellect during the 79-83 period, which is a very small period in the political history of Grenada. And of course, we know how catastrophic that period came to an end. But for some reason, they delude themselves and delude some of the mass of Grenadian people that, oh, they were so brilliant and they had something that was so magnificent. But I'll have you know that a lot of what they implemented during that period, from everything military, okay, to everything socio-economic, was done by foreign advisors. So don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you and have you think that it was some mark of genius on their part. It's total hogwash. But as I said, I warn you, Grenadian people, your country, your life, your children's life, the life of the nation depends on it. We have seen what these people are capable of. These are lepers. They will never ever change their skin. They've shown you. You know, there's a scripture that says, in mercy and truth, there is reconciliation. In mercy and truth, there's reconciliation. So, the Grenadian people gave mercy. Where's truth? Where is truth for there to be reconciliation? So I'm a man, I believe in second chances. Okay? But you give second chances to people who have shown some sort of redemption, who have shown some sort of willingness to accept responsibility. And I have seen many of the interviews that people have had with these guys, and the level of arrogance and unwillingness to accept their role and responsibility in what happened in 1783. And yet still, we are so naive. And here we are, embracing these foxes. A word to the wise is sufficient.